Hey friends, I'm back! Just in time to join the Three Rivers Challenge for Every Bit Counts that they do every August. So every day in the month of August you do something to preserve some food. I don't know if I've got enough to do something every day because she's in Ohio, her season starts a little sooner than mine does, and we are just barely getting our harvest started now. But it is starting. Very slowly, but it is starting. So come on outside with me and I'll be harvesting some cilantro today. Our cherry tomatoes are just starting to ripen. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of fruit on that plant, but there's more coming at the top. This is the first cherry tomato we'll get to harvest. Our garden is very weedy, but the green beans are starting. We've had one harvest off of them, enough for dinner. And that's it, we're just getting started. What you can see here is the top of our bok choy. It was grown for the chickens and it's pretty much gone to seed. They've loved it. It's a nice treat for them. Behind that, there's a little bit of red leaf lettuce that's bolting, and a bit of calendula growing in that pot at the back. In amongst all these weeds, this row I'm in right now has cilantro that's starting to bolt. I'm going to harvest that really hard, and I'll probably plant some more in a few days so that we might get a second crop. I'm just going to cut that back really aggressively, and I'll sort the weeds out before I do anything with it. Of course, I do have some other things going here. There's vetch going into it, but I know what that looks like. I can sort that out really easily. Welcome to my chicken coop. I have my Canadian breast birds here. So I have 8 more Canadian breasts in here with their lovely blue legs. And they want out. They're right next to the camera because they want to go out in the grass. Here we have our oldest rooster. He is not going to survive the chopping block. He's knock-kneed and he's not good with the ladies at all. This other one here though, behind the post, if he would step forward a little bit. No, that's not him. We have 3 roosters this time instead of 9. But that rooster at the back, who's next to the fence there, he might be my keeper. He's reaching his teenage years and he's getting long and thin, but he's wider than the other rooster. He's not knock-kneed. The other roosters are both knock-kneed. And the other roosters both have conjoined spikes on their combs, and that's not a desirable trait. So we might keep one. Over there we have one of our silver lace Wyandottes. Both of our silver lace Wyandottes. And over here past the ramp is our black sex lake. We have some very interesting dragonflies sitting here on some posts. That's pretty cool. So this is it, guys. This is our garden. We didn't do as much this year as we did before, but we did expand this bed. This ground cover has turned out to be fantastic. I love this. Love, love, love this. There are a few holes here at the front of the... There are a few holes here that I have pulled weeds out of, but that's the only place we're getting weeds, is right out of the holes. Those plants didn't take. It was okra, and I planted 9 seeds. I got 3 plants, so we have a few bare spots here and there, and it's easy to just come along and grab a handful of weeds and pull them out and you're done. Then you move on. We have on the left, I have October beans, which can be eaten as green beans or as leave them for drying, and they will be a speckled brownish bean that you can and use that way, or dry and put in storage. I have jalapenos here in the center, and then to the right I have my Roma tomatoes. Let's go across the garden and look at what's on the other side. These T-posts here along the side on the left, that's the edge of our property. And the cornfield across the lane, that's not ours either. So I'm in the corner of our property right now. We had discussed purchasing, you know, maybe making an offer to the guy that owns that land and purchasing that from him. It completely surrounds us. Our land, it completely surrounds us. This land is on both sides of us, so and it's on 3 sides of us really. 27 acres with a barn. And this barn is close enough to our house that we could walk to it easily and tend to animals, and we would not get too much noise or odor from the barn to the house. It does need some major work. There is a beam that's falling inside. There's a rotten beam inside, and it's a bit of an investment if you take that on. If we took that on, we'd have to have a tractor to manage these fields, and if we had this barn, I'd be wanting some 4-legged animals, not just chickens. Our bylaws and zoning here, we are allowed to have chickens, turkeys, rabbits, but nothing larger than a turkey. Here in this section of the garden, we have cabbages on the left and Brussels sprouts directly in front. Then I have Cherokee Trail of Tears beans that can be eaten again as green beans or dried and used as a black bean. We eat a lot of black beans, so I'm looking forward to having some harvest off of this. And then to the right we have our tomatoes. These are our Amish paste tomatoes. We have jalapenos growing. They'll still be a week before they're ready, but they're producing. And right next to that we have a big cluster of our Roma tomatoes. They're just starting to set fruit. There's nothing ripe yet. And looking at the size of these plants, I need to get in there and trim them real hard and trellis them up properly. I haven't done that part of my job this year. And this garden needs to be watered. It's been 29 degrees here today, so some of these plants are struggling. This baby needs some moisture. And we haven't had rain for several days, so it's time to water this garden as well. Dan was going to run the lawnmower, so I'm going to wait until he's done that before I bring out the hoses so they're not in his way. And we want to wait for the evening so it cools down a little bit.